Before we begin, I must apologize for my presentation style. I am not a professional YouTuber, and as such, I don't film every moment of my existence with the hope that something cool is going to happen or funny that I can make a clickbait thumbnail out of. What I have from this are still photos that I took with my phone, but it demonstrates what it needs to. So this year, I decided to go tubeless, so I could solve some puncture issues that were plaguing me last year. I did one gravel event on MSO tires, a shop-installed sealant, and I don't know the name of the sealant that I was using, but I had zero problems. But with summer coming and knowing I was going to be doing mostly road riding, I wanted to get a more road-specific tire, and this is a golden opportunity to try some new sealant. Now, I chose the Slime Tubeless sealant for a couple reasons. The color, I figured, would make it easy to spot leaks, and there's a bunch of pro YouTubers that I watch and I used to trust, and, well, they use it, and they have sponsorship, so I figured they were great. Well, my first ride with the Slime sealant in the tires, I had to stop and reflate the tires twice. On the second ride, I only had to reinflate it once. But on the third ride, my tire ran completely flat. There was a puncture in the carcass, smaller than the width of a toothpick. Now, when did it happen? I don't know, because they were flat when I was leaving home, and I inflated them before I left, but I noticed I was on my rims after 3 miles of pedaling, and that's a long hike a bike, and there was no sealant coming out of the tire when I stopped. When I got home, that's when I did the real investigation. Okay, first of all, there was no sealant. Well, there was some sealant on the outside of the rim, meaning that it was burping. And that's odd, considering that I was on paved trail with no bumps. But there was no sealant coming out of the hole in the tire. So I used a dipstick, and I found out there was no sealant in the tire at all. So I squeezed in 3 ounces of stuff, and I inflated the tire. And I did the spread the tire spin and bounce, and it was deflating almost as fast as I could pump air into the tire. The sealant was doing anything but sealing. It was running out this tiny hole like it was water. It was bubbling on the surface once in a while, but it would then just ooze down the side of the tire. And before you start in with the, well, you didn't do one. Yeah, I did. I did everything you're supposed to do to coat and the tire and the rim. The sealant was just not sealing. So I popped the tire off to get a better look at the damage, and I was greeted to a horror show. The sealant, which I should remind you is brand spanking new, was clumping slightly in its own pool at the bottom of the tire. Now, I will grant that it did coat the entire tire in a thin layer of green, but it was a useless coating. It took me almost an hour to clean all of it off. Simply put, slime tire sealant would not seal a hole less than a toothpick wide. It also could not create an airtight seal along the rim either. Now the frustrating part. All of the reviews of Slime Tubeless are years old, and very recently Slime has revamped their formula. They're calling it STR. And there are no reviews on the revamped product, so here's my review. Save your money. Slime Tubeless is about as good at sealing a small puncture as just having plain water in your tire. The color is a gimmick to make you feel like the stuff is working, and frankly, it didn't. I'm just happy I only had this issue 3 miles from home because that was a long walk. The fact that 2 ounces of sealant leaked out of a tiny hole over those couple of miles should just be damning enough to make you steer clear. Now, the punchline. I reached out to the company through their feedback site, and I never heard anything back from them. I offered to send them pictures, the damage, the bottle, everything, and I heard nothing. So I'm guessing that they already know their product is trash, and they're just interested in selling it and not giving customer support. If for some reason they do give customer support after I release the video, I will make an update.